If I could just share a few words. I don't know if you saw earlier today, there was a video message that went out from Bar Cooperstein. Bar was one of the hostages that Rahman al was in the tunnels in Gaza for a whole 2 years. And he sent out a message right before the fast in Eretz Yisrael. And he said, Ma'olei chaverim. What's going on, everybody? Anachnu shah lifnei knisat hatzom. We're about an hour before the fast begins. V'ani rotzeh lesaper lachem sipur katan sheli me'ashevi. And I want to share one short story that happened to me when I was in captivity. Shana shavra b'Tisha B'Av ani hichlati latzom. That last year on Tisha B'Av, sitting in the tunnels with Hamas, Yemach Shamam v'Zichram, I decided that I was going to fast. Ani v'od kama chatufim shahayu iti, and myself along with a few of the other hostages that were in the tunnels. V'zeh haya lo pashut. Ki tichshavu latzom, ze omer she'ata tzam yom kodem. Because to decide to fast on Tisha B'Av meant that you were really fasting the day before. Ki ta shomer et ha'ochel, kidei she'eh lecha be'etzem latzet hatzom. So it's really like you're fasting for 2 days because you have to keep your rations from the day before. So you have something to eat when the fast is over. But we decided we were going to do it anyway. Amarnu Ulay zeh ya'azor lanu l'shichrur shalanu. We thought perhaps that this would help us in our release. Ulay borei olam yishacher otanu. That perhaps the Master of the Universe will set us free. אני רוצה שתחשבו על זה כל מי שמחליט לצום היום. Then I want you to think about this. He told everybody, if you choose to fast, ששנה שעברה היו 6 חטופים בעזה שהחליטו לצום. Think about that last year that there were 6 hostages in Gaza who decided to fast. ולא היה להם פשוט. It wasn't easy for them. אבל הם עשו זאת בכל זאת. But they did it anyway. והשנה, כי מי שצם, and if this year, if somebody's fasting, באמת אם קשה לך, או שאתה לא מצליח, and if you feel it's becoming difficult, you feel like you just can't do it, תחשוב על זה ששנה שעברה היו 6 חטופים בעזה שהחליטו לעצום. Try and remember, maybe it'll give you strength. Obviously, if somebody's sick, obviously, if it's a health situation, that's a different situation. Obviously, if I could help give guidance in any way, please speak with me. But all else is being equal. To keep this story in mind. And maybe this story will give you strength. I love you all. And it should be a meaningful fast for everybody. I watched this video today probably 20 times. But it actually, just now when I was reading it, it actually just hit me. And it's the reason I apologize. It's difficult for me to get through it is because of a thought I just had while I was reading it. I don't know if anyone here has seen a picture of Bar Cooperstein. But he looks like a regular, run-of-the-mill, secular Israeli. I think it's without question that if I would have met him any day up until October 7th, 2023, I probably would have started judging him for no good reason. Just because of the way he looked, the way he carried himself, the way he talked. I don't know. For literally no reason. Someone with such internal, eternal light. I shared with a few people a thought that I've had over the last 9 days. That it's possible, you'll excuse me for saying it, it's possible that it's a little heretical. I hope not. But it feels a little apicoursesy. Is that I think I've been looking about things the wrong way. That I kept thinking about what it is that I need to do or we need to do. Thank you. What it is I need to do or we need to do in order to usher in Mashiach and the ultimate redemption of the Geula. But I think I'm getting frustrated with myself because I need to think about it differently. That I need to think about how it is that I could live with a Geula consciousness right now, the redemptive consciousness right now. You take somebody like Bar Cooperstein, that experienced the depths of hell of what real Mitzrayim is, of what real Galus is. To the most extreme level. and in such a position to be able to exude such light. To just start living like it's the Geula. Like we're going to be judging people when it's the real deal and we're dancing in Yerushalayim? Of course not. So right now, to live as if it's the Geula. To just start doing it. Not as a means to an end, but as a means in and of itself. There's a haunting, poetic description of Jewish history that's recorded by the Maharal. The Maharal writes in Sefer Netzach Yisrael in Parak Memtes, Halo im kol ha'agamim dio, that if all the swamps were ink, v'cholkine hayam kulmusin, and all the reeds were writing instruments, v'kol shamayim yiriot, and the skies were all parchment, v'chol b'nei adam sofrim, and everybody was sitting and writing. Lo yespiku lichtov hatalos v'atzaros hameshunos yotzim chutz leteva. It'd be impossible for us to capture fully all of the trauma, all of the horror beyond the laws of nature the Jewish people have had to experience. Asher avru la'am Hashem, that have happened to the Jewish people. Tisha B'Av is the day where we sit and contemplate and figure out how it is that I'm going to change that. So then let's just change it. Let's just change ourselves and how it is that I'm going to think about others, to not be so reactive, to work on not just looking at the external actions that people do and just deciding that that's what they are, that that's who they are. I heard a story from Eitan Katz, the famous singer. He said that he was once playing a wedding with his brother Shlomo Katz, and the Katz brothers were at this wedding, and they said that when they were there, at least Eitan said that he immediately became very uncomfortable because the Katz brothers, they're two religious men, two with a W, not with a double O. And that they have certain standards, Toradic standards, important standards of where they're comfortable playing a wedding. And it was clear from the first 5 minutes of being there that they were clearly misled in terms of what this wedding would be like. And Eitan said, and I'm comfortable saying it, that it was him, because he shared this publicly, that he said that he was getting very upset, and he turned to his brother and he said, Shlomo, I'm just so mad. I don't know how I'm going to sing at this chuppah. It's a shanda. I'm so mad at the Masadar Kedushin. I can't believe that the rabbi didn't tell us that he misled us. And his brother Shlomo turned to him and he said, Eitan, do you not know who the chassan is? He says, no, who's the chassan? He said, oh, it's a Nebuch story. It's a terrible story. The chassan has had the most difficult life. And he starts filling him in on details of this chassan's life that lo aleinu, none of us should ever know from these things. And that the fact that he even married a Jewish girl was like a nace, was like an open miracle, and that he had an Orthodox rabbi come was hard enough to do. And I mean, I think us being here might be like a form of like Hatzalas Nefashos, like we're almost part of his journey of saving his life. And so Eitan said, I had no idea. Okay, I'm so happy we're here. He said, Shlomo, how do you know all this? It's unbelievable. So his brother Shlomo turned to him and he said, I actually have no idea. I kind of made all that up. But let me ask you something. How did you feel about this whole situation once you were told that? Just coming from a different perspective, living with the Geula mentality. Just have to make that change. I think one of the most important quotes to sum up what Tisha B'Av is comes from Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter said that yesh et ha'afsharus, that we have the capability on Tisha B'Av, lis alos beruchnios b'Tisha B'Av, to go up in ladders, in levels, spiritually on Tisha B'Av, lo pachot, not any less, mamasha adam mesugol lis alos b'Yom Kippurim, of what we're able to accomplish on Yom Kippur. It's just that the 2 days have almost opposite paths in how it is that we get to that goal. Yom Kippur, it's by throwing ourselves into the most lofty places. Tisha B'Av, it's throwing ourselves down. Sitting next to Bar Cooperstein in a tunnel in Gaza. But they both share a common denominator of being our truest, most authentic selves, of stripping away the ego, experiencing that ego death, of being regulated in our relationship with Hashem, recognizing who I really am and what I actually can do, and that I truly am a chelek elokam imal mamish, that I literally have a piece of the Rabbonu Shalom inside of me, and it's up to me whether or not I'm going to let that shine all the time. And so perhaps something that we can try and hold on to for the next 25 hours is to hold on to the perspective that it's not just because we want all of the tragedies to stop. It's not just because we want there to be peace and serenity for us as a people that have experienced so much, for us as individuals who have gone through so much. It's not just so that we don't have to sit on the floor next year Tisha B'Av and that we're going to all be dancing together in Yerushalayim. And yes, yes, yes on all those things. God willing, should see all of it come to fruition very soon. But also, what am I going to do so that way tomorrow night I'm ready to let out that piece of the Rabbanu Shalom, that infinite light that I have inside of me. That I don't need somebody to talk me off a ledge before I'm going to think horribly about that person. But I'm just living with this Geula consciousness. And then, if we do that, we've gone already through our Yetzias Mitzrayim, our personal one. We've gone through already a very significant rebuilding of the self. And if I do that, and you do that, and you do that, and I do that, and we all work on that, then before we know it, then we're all just living in the Geula.